What's going on? It's your boy Nikki Duce, aka Mr. No Disrespect, aka it's your boy, and you're now tuned in to No Disrespect. How y'all doing, y'all?
What's goody? What's goody? Hey, y'all. Swap here.
Been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Been too long.
So my baby are back in town. Fresh from Cincinnati. Not fresh.
I would say not that fresh.
Fresh,
he ain't never been fresh.
That's the most recent place I've been.
As you know, that's Suave. But we are joined by two special guests. You know what I'm saying? The big homies. You know, one of them. You've been dealing with the quarantine for a minute at your job now.
Oh yeah, both jobs.
Both jobs. Well, you got two jobs there?
I got two jobs.
Oh yeah, I forgot you saying dope in the streets and you be also prescribing it too.
Yeah.
We got Neems in the building. How you doing?
I'm out here living my best life. Missed y'all. You know,
Missed you too, for real.
Pandemic, protest.
Changed up the look while you
I
was
know. I
inside.
went blonde on y'all. Like Beyonce summer. What's up? Like, you know, I'm feeling myself a little bit.
Yeah, no, it looks good. It looks good.
During this
Thank you.
quarantine, you probably only touching yourself. But we also got Doe in the building. What's good, bro?
What it do? Missed y'all.
Yeah, cuz we missed you, man.
Yeah, you know, just getting off of this quarantine shit. We back, full effect. You know the vibes.
We had an episode recorded that we did a while ago, but it didn't. We had some technical difficulties, but we will be redoing that one because that was pretty. It was pretty interesting. I think y'all gonna like that one. But we felt obviously the need to come back to talk about what's been going on. We can't be. We always talk about being pro-black on this show, you know what I'm saying? It's a running joke on the show, but we somewhat take it serious. So we couldn't be a black show with black people on it and not talk about what's going on in America, specifically like in the South, like in the city of Atlanta. We just recently had something going on that's crazy. So I got the homies here just to talk about it, just get their thoughts out. Now I don't want this to be a show about like we ain't really gonna say nothing that's probably different from anybody else. We all know that we obviously black, so those lives do matter. And we obviously fuck the police. So I just want to get y'all thoughts on what else have y'all been thinking about going on. But and I start with this question as far as have y'all ever called the cops on anybody? Like have you ever called 911 on somebody or to help you out?
Never mind. I just feel like it's the most anti-black thing I could do at this point. Like dead ass.
I'm talking about period.
I've never called the cops in my life. Like I've been taught to fear the cops. Like it was never like if I see the police, I'm never like, oh my God, they're here to save me. Like it's never been that case or like I felt safer. So I've never felt the need to call the cops for any situation. Music, whatever y'all think warrants the police. Never.
I've only called the cops. I prank called the cops one time.
I was gonna say, was it the Republican in you?
Nah, I ain't. Chill out, bro. Y'all gotta stop, bro. Y'all gotta stop trying to spread that damn theory going out there. Niggas ain't gonna start. They gonna stop listening to me. Nah, I did it as like a prank call one time. I called them. I did on some crank anchor shit, and then I hung up, and then I didn't realize they could track your phone and shit, and they called me right back. You know what I'm saying? And my mama picked up the other time, so then obviously I got my ass beat later on that night.
How old were you?
I was like probably 5 or 6 or some shit. I was a jackass back in the day. That's the only time I called the cops, I think.
You want to know what? I've never called the cops, and I can think back at times I wish I had. For real, those white gatherings that I just wish I could have played that card on them.
They would have found you so quickly.
I could have been the Black Quan instead of there being a white Karen. We could have started that way first. We disrupt their motherfucking parties. We disrupt their gatherings. Yeah. There's plenty of them.
Yeah, fuck their barbecues. White
Washington Park was the main one.
Is that a thing?
They have cookouts.
We have cookouts.
I thought we had cookouts.
What do white people do?
White people grill. They just grill.
Oh, that's what it is. They grill.
They throw something on the grill.
Yeah.
Like
throw
what?
something on the grill.
I don't know.
They be throwing kale and shit on the grill and shit.
Or no, they tailgate.
They tailgate.
Yeah,
Even if there's no game.
Nah, that's not tailgating then.
Yeah, there is.
Tailgate
There's always
is all
a game
about
going on. They're just not going to it.
Ain't no games going on right now. So you can't call
They're
it.
still tailgating.
White people have picnics.
That's what it really is.
Okay. But I feel like picnics.
I've been on a picnic before though.
You're a Republican.
Right.
2 for 2.
I hate y'all. All right, next, Doe, have you called the cops before?
I've literally never called the police ever before. I think I've called 911 for the ambulance before for like my grandmother, but I've never ever called the police ever because I was always taught that when they get there, the situation is gonna escalate. You know what I mean?
It's gonna get worse.
You end up calling the police and you end up leaving in cuffs, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I've never ever called the police ever. That's not my swag.
Do y'all think like over the last 2 months, like has everything that's been going on, has that brought us closer as far as black people, black community together, or has it made more divisions? Because I say that because, or not made more divisions, just revealed them. Because I was just talking to Suave just outside about like you seen a lot of, I don't know, is it Pride Month or something like that?
Yeah.
So like you seen a lot of like Black Trans Lives Matter and all this other stuff, and then I feel like some people are not ready to have that conversation, but at the same time, like we seeing so much Black unity overall in general. Like we seen a lot of Black perspectives, like even like that Dave Chappelle's,
Right,
like we seen a lot of people come out of the woodwork to really support others, and we all know right now it's probably the best time to be a Black business owner because you can really like get your, people are really ready to support.
Facts.
So do you think like it's been closer or more separated?
I'm gonna go. It's been closer, and like just an overall more consciousness. I've seen it all over social media. People really been educating themselves, like doing their own research on things versus like I feel like back in the day we all would just like kind of get upset and let the emotion take over. Not saying that we're not all emotional right now, but just as like a collective, I see people becoming way more conscious in terms of like what content they're putting out, supporting Black businesses, just being Black. Like it's a beautiful thing, honestly.
That's a major part is that publicizing of your support.
Right.
I think we all do. Like we support it in our own ways, but behind closed doors, I wonder how much this situation has made people like really change their minds. Like if they stood on the other side of it, like not really supporting Black businesses, I wonder if this has changed them. Because it's not like I have to change up too much of what I'm doing to say to feel like I'm supporting the Black community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I might not go to some of these places or support some of these businesses, but how many people are like, all right, you know what? I had some hard feelings towards this nigga. I'm gonna dead that shit because that's what we trying to unite. How many times does that shit happen?
I ain't gonna lie, I squashed all my beefs, bro.
That's beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? I had a whole bunch of ops that was my same skin color. I had to tell everybody, you know what I'm saying? It's over with. Until this is over with. You know what I'm saying?
So for now,
we gonna put
you got a truce.
You called a truce.
Yeah, you ain't say you ain't even got
it. Real talk, nah, because in all seriousness,
called a parlay.
That shit, you can't be pro-Black running around at this point in time,
yeah,
beefing with other Black
Facts.
dudes,
Exactly.
bro. Like that shit is corny. Like right now, we got a way bigger enemy, a way bigger
It's
fish
not
to
the
fry.
time, and it's not a short battle at this point. That's one thing I really want people to understand. I'm like, we need to be in these streets religiously. Y'all need to be supporting each other religiously. Like this is a long-term game. Like if you really want to end the system, we got to be about it forever. Like I've seen that trend of, okay, Trayvon Martin, we get right and we do this. George Zimmerman doesn't get locked up, and then we go back down and just live our regular everyday life of being in the system. And then Michael Brown happens. Like stuff like that where it's just like up and down in terms of like we'll be out there doing our thing, supporting each other, and then it just like kind of rides that wave and fizzles out. Yeah. So I think this time, I don't know, something's different. Like
something is different, yeah.
There's a shift.
And I think there is more unity. I just think that with also that it's just, I hope we actually, I want Black people to be serious about the shit they talking about.
Facts.
Pretty much. Like, because if you with the shits, I'm with the shits. The only reason why niggas ain't with the shits all like as a unit is because motherfuckers is weak links. You know what I mean? When it comes to like really standing up on 10 toes about shit. So, and I'm not saying like I'm with the shits as far as like all like rioting and all that shit. I mean, I could do it, but I'm just talking about period as far as like the stance of we not backing down. We not taking no compromises no more. We coming for all y'all. If y'all, you know what I'm saying, get with it, get lost. All that shit, like to the fullest extent. And I like what I'm seeing so far because some of these companies are backing down for now. But nonetheless, it's happening. We're seeing some instant gratification with like some of these results. Like we talking to them, they talking right back to us. They know they can't really do, like even Donald Trump pushed back his thing for Juneteenth. Like I'm not saying that's a great thing about Donald Trump, but I'm just saying like look how much like people are respecting Black people at this time. Like I haven't seen this much respect since.
Do you think it's respect though? Because like to me, like okay, for example, Reebok came out with a statement the other day talking about like without Black people we would be nothing. But I remember when like Beyonce had to choose between Adidas and Reebok when she came out with her Ivy Park line, she didn't pick Reebok because there was not one Black.
But that's why they
member.
said it, because they nothing.
Exactly, they realized it. Though.
They realized like, damn, we lost Beyonce. We really ain't nothing.
Exactly, but they're not truly valuing Black lives or Black like creativity or our minds or anything like that. Just because it's just like. We're not represented in any of their companies. They could say Black Lives Matter. They could say, I stand with you, but do you really represent that in your business?
I mean, Adidas owns Reebok. So like,
it's all bullshit stuff.
But look, is it like that's my biggest concern. Is it like a marketing ploy?
It is.
Like, is it these white men sitting in the office like, hey, the wave now is Black Lives Matter. We need to push out a statement and we need to start telling them we're going to change things around this, that, and the third. Like, it's definitely not from the heart. I think it's to keep our consumership.
Either way you want to slice it, if it's for that or if it's for, I want to avoid backlash. Like, I want people to like exclude me from these other corporations, even though they do the exact same method.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. They have the exact same business model, all that.
Exactly.
That exploits black people and the black dollar.
Exactly.
And that's why that question is big. Like, all right, are we going to really go hard at it? Because it takes that. The protesting and the riots, like, it only can do so much.
It can only do so much.
You fuck up a storefront, you fuck up these stores. That only does so much. It's just, especially if they have multiple stores nationwide, international. Insurance. Like, that's a small online retail. Like, that's a small portion of what their business is. You're not going to be able to take it down like that. How you take it down is internally. We put collectively, we put so much money towards these companies. If we were to really pull that shit back, even if it was for a day where they didn't get $1 black, that shit would hurt.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Facts.
But are we ever gonna believe him? Are we ever gonna really believe, like, if they put the Black Lives Matter up? I don't think they're in a position to be genuine.
I'll never believe a major corporation saying Black Lives Matter until I see black CEOs, black, you know what I mean, like people in positions of power in these companies. Like, I was researching all of these people that put out these statements, bro. If you look at their board, all white. So it's like, come on now, bro. Like, who came up with the Black Lives
Who stepped up and said that?
Like, you know
the only person I seen do it, Serena Williams' husband, the one that's like co-owner of Reddit. He stepped down. He said, like, I want a black person to take my position. That's why I was like, oh, y'all can do that. So you have that power to be like, oh, we can have a minority here.
But that's only because he fucking with a black woman, though.
I know, but he's the one that did it, though.
But
like,
I get that, but like, if we questioning like
motives
and all that shit, like, it's like, if he wasn't with a black woman, would he give a fuck about black people?
And that's the thing.
I mean, he's with a black woman, though.
That's the question I'd be wondering if it matters. Are they in a position to be genuine? Are we ever going to take it as that? Can it even be that? Well, like, if he wasn't fucking with Serena,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
he wouldn't have a reason. But like, he wouldn't have had that experience.
Because I feel like he wouldn't be fucking with Serena if he didn't value black lives. Like, I can't say that for all people that are interracial couples. All right, let me.
I'm just saying, like, and she's like a billionaire on her own.
I'm going.
Like, she's one of the top 5 black women that you could be fucking around with right now.
Yeah, no, that's 100%.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're our best. Obviously, like, the best white people, we probably, like, you know what I'm saying? There's some white bitches I fuck around with. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna perp on that. Especially if it's the top 5 white bitches that y'all got to offer. All right, chill out. I'm just saying, like, it's easy to accept us at our best. What about us? Period. Like
would he go drive around the hood?
Would he be this genuine or generous if he didn't have someone attached to him?
That's a valid question.
If he didn't have a black child, like, you know what I'm saying, like,
and that's where we are. Like, we have to question motives, but I'm just glad we're in a space right now that at least we're making them uncomfortable. Right. That's one thing I could see, that we are making them uncomfortable. We're making these big corporations uncomfortable. We're making white people in general uncomfortable and making them feel like, okay, you have to speak up and say something, or we know what side you stand on. Exactly. And I don't feel like we've been in this space for a while. Like, Trayvon
we just
Martin,
been ignoring it.
Yeah, Mike Brown. I don't feel like we got this far, and those, like, I feel like this is the most that, you know what I mean, protesting and rioting and what we've been doing has been showing results, like, at this time right here. I feel like the time is now. You know what I mean?
I wish it was earlier. I wish it was when Obama was in office.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. Like,
that's why I question
Trump,
that.
I don't think he's gonna budge.
No, he doesn't want to die, though. Like, you gotta understand. Like, when you take that,
what do you mean he don't want to die?
He don't want to die. If you look at black leaders all throughout time that took a stand for black rights and wanted to change, like, truly wanted to change the system, they've been killed. And Barack Obama knows if he took that stand and became that face, why do you think he wasn't doing shit while he was president? Not saying he wasn't doing anything, but truly, like, really wanted to make change. 1, he wasn't able to, but 2, he would have been killed for it.
Them first 2 years he was in office, he had the majority house as Democrats. He
could have
done something out the gate.
Would y'all sign that over? That's basically a death sentence. Would y'all sign that death sentence?
Oh yeah, I was asking.
Are y'all willing to be the martyr?
I had a question outside. We was talking to Suave. I was like, all right, bro. We know how Martin Luther King was. You know what I'm saying? His legacy and what he, quote unquote, some people say don't call it a sacrifice because he was assassinated. They murdered him. But he gave up. He was willing to give up his life anyway. He said in speeches.
Right.
All right, let's just say, like, you could have a legacy, impact on society like Martin Luther King, where like you'll get your own holiday, people will quote your speeches, you know what I'm saying, all that good stuff, a good representation of black people, at least on a global standpoint. If you could have that, and the next 5 years after you like initially get that, it'd be the best 5 years of your life. I'm talking about milk and honey, bitches, niggas, if you're a man or a woman, whatever you prefer, everything that you've ever wanted is gonna happen in that 5 years. At the end of that 5th year, you're gonna get shot in your head.
Did I influence
would you take that lifestyle over to what you got right, the lifestyle you got right now?
Did I actually like?
I said Martin Luther King. I said Martin Luther King.
Right.
So that level.
So if I had an impact like
that,
MLK or Malcolm,
and 5 years after,
influence a generation, fuck yeah.
So you take the 5 years, and then like on the 6 years. I'm not taking the 5
years. You're not understanding. I'm not taking that lifespan. I'm taking the fact that I was able to have that type of monumental change. I'm not saying the holidays or the speeches. I'm saying that I was able to change a system and have people think about their morality. That's the thing. Like if you're able to push people against the grain and have that type of influence on the world, fuck it. I'll die for that shit easily. I know I won't, but.
So what was your answer?
My answer was nah.
He also didn't want to free the slaves. You also don't leave the other slaves with Harriet.
Huh?
So.
Oh, wait. Didn't want to free the slaves. That's a little miscued. I said, I'm not going to go out my way trying to convince you. I'm not going to die trying to convince you to escape. Like, you got to want that for yourself. And what was this question? Oh, yeah, would I die? No, I mean, I'm too big on, like, family. I'm too big on longevity, generational wealth. I need a little bit more time than that.
I get
to
that,
make
but
sure
if
mine is right.
Like
it would have a big
impact on the world.
It would have a giant impact on the world. I'm just not.
It's not for you. I get it. I get it. That's respectable.
What about you, though?
It's a no for me, dog.
Niggas.
I ain't gonna lie. Because, I mean, bro, dude.
That is a short foot thing, but it wouldn't be that short. I wouldn't be like, I guarantee these niggas is going to live up to me after this shit.
Bruh,
it's not that guaranteed.
I just said it was, though. Well, I'm just saying the impact that you have. I mean,
you use MLK as an example, which is cool. Like, yeah, he in our history books. But me,
are you about to shit on MLK?
No.
Come on, bro.
Done on MLK. I love this argument.
I would never shit on him, but what I would say is this. I feel like he was more so of the American hero rather than the black hero. I feel like me personally, I would never disrespect his work or the things that he accomplished. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't feel like he was what we needed at that time. I feel like he led a lot of people to slaughter. A lot of people were beat and hurt. Like I'm more of a Malcolm X.
But if not then, then when?
I'm more of a Malcolm X.
Oh yeah, same. 100%.
I feel like anybody that they put in your face and say, "Hey, we're gonna give you an MLK Day," and "Hey, MLK was y'all's hero," you got to go opposite because he preached the message that they wanted, that they allowed him to preach.
Right.
I feel like he got assassinated when he made his last speech, when he started saying he felt like he was leading people astray. He was leading people into a burning building. He started to preach that, okay, we need to start protecting ourselves, and then they killed him. You know what I mean? I feel like he was the people's hero. He wasn't more so like the black hero. Now, if I could have like a Malcolm X type of, you know what I'm saying, go out like how Malcolm did, like stand on something, like you know what I mean, like we're gonna fuck you up if you come fucking with us type shit, or some Huey P. Newton shit, then I take that. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like people play with MLK's name.
I'm gonna piggyback off what he said, because MLK was, you're right, he was like docile, speaking.
Yeah.
It was the peaceful shit, like the equality, and that's the main thing is the equality, and that is what like we needed to do first. And we needed to make them see, like, all right, we are, like, you need to be putting equal effort into us. We need to have, we are seen as equals.
Right.
But now the conversation has switched, and there's no, we don't need an MLK right now. We need to highlight the black community. We don't need that equality. We need the shit to be tilted. We need the scales to be tilted in our favor, matter of fact.
You have to do something
to make
drastic.
Up for that shit.
You got to look at history. Anytime you want an actual change, like a systematic change in the world. For example, with Russia, going out there, with Stalin. Russia was nothing, right? Literally didn't do shit. And then they go from all their like fucking feudalism and all that shit, feudal systems with their knights and shit, whatever they was doing. They got Stalin eventually. This nigga wasn't doing fucking genocides there. You have to have a major change in the fucking country to shift that type of power and say, whatever, fuck it, I'm going to do what I want to do. And the Soviet Union was born, and they were competing with America. Same thing with China. China wasn't doing shit. They were doing their dynasties and whatnot. Nigga said, fuck it, we're going to do communism, have a fucking genocide, shifted the power. Now they're a world power again. There you go. Like, if you really want change in the country, you have to, what Malcolm was saying, burn the shit to the ground by any means necessary.
The peaceful ain't the way to win it.
It's not.
The peaceful for me me, the peaceful protest is just like, everybody look over here.
Right.
And then that's when we need to do enact the violence.
And
Once everybody looking at us, once everybody knows how real we are about this shit.
And that's my main point on MLK. I feel like he was right for what his message was. I guess to calm our spirits or whatever, but we don't need to be calm at this point.
We can't be calm. We have to be angry.
And there's no way to thrive in a system that was built for you to never succeed.
Exactly.
The system gotta explode. It gotta be something completely different built, or we'll never win. Period.
100%. We've been fighting this fight for how long?
I'm taking that MLK deal. Y'all know me. I'm trying to be out by 65. So you know what I'm saying. So like, if I get that MLK legacy speech, you know what I'm saying. My next 5 years, I ain't got nothing but milk and honey and a couple, fat booty bitches. I am good. You know what I'm saying. I get one of them pregnant. Hopefully, I have a son. You know what I'm saying, to carry on the last name.
And what are the Kings doing though? What are his offspring
They
doing?
doing some things, bro. They doing some things, bro. They doing some things, bro.
Bro, they not doing.
They doing more than me.
Bro.
So shit, they doing some things.
I think they doing some things, bro. I said the same thing the other day.
Speaking engagements. Like what?
They're not doing as much. They not gonna be able to fill the shoes.
Yeah, like that's bro. That's like Jordan's kids ain't doing shit right now.
But they really ain't.
But they really doing more than us. You know what I'm saying? They was in the dock. We ain't in the dock.
They do more than us.
I'm just saying, man. I don't know. MLK, hey, say now, fuck with you.
So speaking like, all right, let's go into like the shit that people have been talking about as far as where we go next and how things should be, or like theorizing on what can the future be after all this unrest. Y'all been hearing about like the defunding of the police and all that shit?
100%.
How y'all feel about that?
Shit. Fuck it.
Is that practical?
I think it is, because people hear defund the police or abolish the police and think that, oh, no law enforcement. No, we're saying allocate the money that you're putting into the police, all those billions of dollars for like militarizing them, giving all that fucking equipment, this fake ass training that you give them, nothing that actually helps. Put it towards public infrastructure. Put it in black and brown communities that are already being over policed. Like, people don't understand, like, this shit is so systematic in terms of like why black and brown people are in poor communities. You gotta look at redlining. That over here, they have poor ass property taxes. They have poor schools, bad health care, bad hospitals. Everything around them is already poor. And now the way they fix that is by over policing it. You have bad schools, school to prison pipeline. Overdoses, they go to prison. Homeless, imprison the homeless. Like, you see how everything they do, they just use the police as backup, and they're using those funds to do so. But if you just gave them better education, better access to healthcare, better just communities in terms of like, can they get their groceries straight? Things that don't lead to crime. All crime is caused by social problems. But America did this thing where they put minorities in these communities to have social problems, so they reacted with crime. They couldn't do anything else because they had to survive. So what do? You put police in there to fuck them up. You don't see these problems in white neighborhoods. Simple as that.
That's a fact. I mean, I completely agree with that. Like, especially the defund the police. I mean, we can come up. It was this organization in New York. I forgot what they were called. It was like the Angels or something like that. I don't know. You gotta like research that shit. But they did a movie on that shit. It was like in the 80s, and it was like a group that would get together and they would ride like the metro trains, and they would make sure people weren't like snatching pocketbooks, and like it was when gangs was big in New York, and it worked, bruh. It kept a lot of people out of prison. A lot of kids would get stopped by them and confronted by them and become angels and stuff like that. And I feel like we can defund the police, and we can have our own type of community policing program to where you send people from the community out to, you know what I mean, de-escalate situations that don't include violence, because police bring violence. It's a lot of situations that I've been seeing on the TV, just like how George Floyd was killed, or how the guy in Atlanta yesterday was killed. I forget his name.
Rashad Brooks.
Rashad Brooks. How he was killed. It's anybody easily could have came and de-escalated that situation. Hey man, you had one too many. Hey, we're gonna take you home tonight. This, that, and the third.
Man was passed out in his car. Why did you call the cops? Like you said, call the fucking EMT. Call someone to de-escalate it or figure it out. Like, they rely on violence so heavily in black and brown communities. But when you see a white person doing that in somewhere that's safe, they're not going to call the cops. They're going to do something nice and be like, yo, sir, are you okay? Like, can we get, it's literally a system built against us in every way. Like,
and all these solutions y'all are mentioning, it doesn't take more money.
It doesn't.
What it takes is a stricter budget.
Exactly.
If we giving out all this money to these police departments, yeah, okay, somebody's running the books, etc. But there's not that much supervision on really what is being spent. They're spending big money on shit that just makes the police officer's job more convenient,
Exactly.
easier. I don't give a fuck if it takes longer for you to fill out paperwork because somebody got shot. Nigga, you need to do that job better.
Right.
You need to try to prevent the shooting. You need to
Facts.
try to prevent the violence between the two. That's where the money should go,
Facts.
and those are all solutions for it. But I don't know if the defunding is enough.
And
I was gonna say,
Is defunding enough?
well, no, go ahead. What's your point?
what's
Joe?
crazy? The last thing I wanted to say is I read this post. It was online. It was about the requirements of becoming like a law official in different countries.
I got it right here. I
Yeah.
literally have it pulled up. I'm gonna read it for y'all.
Yeah, you read it.
Norway requires 3 years of training to become a police officer. Between 2002 and 2016, they had 4 fatalities caused by the police. So that's what, 6 years? Or 3 years of training, and in 6 years they had four killings. Germany, 2 years of training, 267 people died by police shootings since 1990. In 30 years. In America, you need a high school diploma in approximately 21 weeks. We had 1,004 killings alone in 1 year. That was last year.
You feel me?
Damn.
And then in these other places, they don't even have guns.
They don't need them.
Why do you need a gun to be a police officer? I will never understand that.
Bruh.
I feel like that's when you call the military. Shots fired. Okay, we call the military or we send in National Guard or whatever. Bro, if you're policing the streets, you're supposed to be de-escalating situations.
Exactly.
That is what your oath says. You de-escalate and you protect.
Exactly.
Period, bro. They run around with guns. We got people fresh out of high school, bro,
Bruh.
running around with guns that have no training. You know, what do you think they're gonna do when they get scared?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And then a lot of these cops, they're just like power crazy, honestly. You see how quickly, like with Rashad Brooks, like that man was mad that he got his ass whooped. That's all that was.
That's it.
Homie woke up from his car after getting dragged out of it and whooped both their asses and then ran, had his back turned. And what they felt comfortable doing is pulling out their gun and killing him and then watched him bleed out. Like, these are the people you're giving that power to have a gun. It's like you're giving kids. Like, what the fuck?
When it comes to defunding the police, I think for like what happened in Minneapolis, I think that's beautiful.
Oh, yeah, how they,
I think when it comes to like those areas where like it's so systematic and like super obvious, definitely defund them motherfuckers. But I think, I don't know if Swap was leading to this point, but I think overall, I'm more concerned about the police reform when it comes to how do we get better training?
I don't think police reform works because you see it now. Like,
you don't think it'll work at all?
It doesn't, because look at the body cams. These niggas have body cams and they're still fucking people up.
But that's
like
like superficial police reform.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what they label it as. They say, oh, police reform is going to make a change,
and they do
and
these
it
little
hasn't.
training things. They say that they're
fake.
their state is under a new training system, it's training method, this, that, and the third. Bro, I just think we need to take their fucking money, bro. They buying tanks. Yep. They buying all of this shit. They make them feel war ready, bro. Like, if I got tanks and shit in my job, bro, I'm fucking somebody up when I
And they just
see-
gassing them up like, all right, we're on our way to some shit tonight.
Yeah.
It's about 130 of them out there.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Even the
And
rubber
any of 'em
guns,
want-
the rubber pellets.
Yeah, that
they're
shit
fucking.
is
You're supposed
crazy.
to like ricochet those bullets off the ground or something. You're not supposed to shoot people. In my hometown, someone got shot in the eye and lost his eye.
That's
Yeah, them
crazy.
shits is
This
dangerous.
nigga is blind for this.
Yeah, them shits
What?
is dangerous.
Like, and then like,
So
sick.
what's the like? It sounds like we don't want no police, at least for this iteration of police at all. Period. So do y'all
This
think?
system police, yeah.
Do y'all
Don't
think
want
that we could police ourselves, or do y'all
I
think,
think
or
if
are
we
we too
train-
selfish to do that?
I don't understand when you said like too selfish in terms of like, because I'm trying to like look at the big picture and think that everyone now we're all exhausted. I think being selfish at this time is the worst possible thing that we can do. We have to be for ourselves and be for our community. So like in terms of like, oh, police in our communities, I think we could if we had the training, de-escalation training, get social workers in this bitch, have people that actually know how to de-escalate a situation, not like just go up and like arrest someone or try to whoop their ass or tase them. Like none of that violence is actually necessary in terms of like getting people to calm down or figure out what's actually going on. Like I think people can be trained to do that.
I'm just saying.
I
For
don't know.
example,
We got
But this worked in
we got
other
a snitch culture.
I'm just saying.
A lot of niggas are gonna see shit and be like, I ain't see shit.
So we
That's
replace.
facts.
So we replace these 911. It's not snitching if we replace these 911 calls with social worker calls.
Exactly.
Like what happened to the Big Brother programs, mentorship programs.
They defunded those parts.
That's
Like
what
I
I'm
said.
saying. Like you take money from these programs
Yep.
that are actually built to bring peaceful resolutions, and you give it to people with guns.
Yep.
Like it doesn't make sense to me. You got to catch the youth. It's the youth that are growing up into these men that are being killed or whatever you want. If we attack it at that, if we attack it with schools, start giving money back to the schools, giving money back to the Big Brother program, the mentorship program. So have a social worker pull up when it's a nonviolent offense instead of calling the police. Have a social worker pull up to a domestic violence dispute. You know what I mean? Like, instead of calling the police who's going to come and fuck up the guy.
Right. Someone go to prison or
fuck
get
up
shot.
the girl. Yeah,
like,
you know what I'm saying? And it's a revolving door. Like,
I'm just saying this for an example. It's 3 a.m. You know what I'm saying? You hear some rustling outside. You go outside and you see a nigga busting into your neighbor's yard right now, like the crib right now. He look back at you. You look him dead in the eye. I'm just saying. I'm painting a picture right now. Y'all looking at each other eye, you got the blinds open. Are you just like closing your blinds, locking your doors and going back to bed? Or are you going to actually get outside and be like, hold on, bro. You don't fuck with Jamal's crib. You know what I'm saying? He good people.
Me personally, I'm telling somebody not to fuck with Jamal's crib.
All right, bro. You don't know what he got. You talking about you just going out there with what, a bat, and if you got a gun, maybe that.
Let's combine it. Let's say that they got people who in the neighborhood are like, I volunteer to watch over y'all. Like, I'm going to keep an eye out. I'm trained to do this shit to a degree. And let's say like we got somebody else who just driving through the neighborhood, and I see somebody looking like they breaking into a car or some shit. It's late. I'm trying to get home. Am I calling that designated person, or am I just keep going? I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Whoever doing.
If that designated
nigga taking what he take. It's just the car. It's material.
Why not. Yeah. Because then, but the problem is we got to see how dangerous it could be. Because with Trayvon Martin, homeboy allegedly was like a community person, right?
But I'm talking about like black people policing black people.
Yeah. So like if we do it correctly, I think if we're taught correctly on how to handle these situations, and it's gonna take time. It's gonna take years to really build that trust. And like you said, calling up for Jamal, like, oh no, I might look and be like, all right, fuck Jamal, like, I don't know if I can handle this. But like after some time, like you really gotta put
That's what I'm saying. Are we too selfish? Like, nigga, it get down to the point where like, all right, bro, it ain't my crib. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta see that it works. But the studies have shown that it works in communities. When
I was trying to buy his house anyway. That's gonna bring the property value down. You know, it's like
that's the Republican shit. That's that shit right there.
If black people genuinely want change, things like that have to work.
It.
We have to step up as a community.
You have to do it.
Because I haven't met a black person yet that if you tell them, hey, yo, you better chill, or the police gonna come, they will chill. Like, look, bro, it's me or the police.
Now they gonna question you like, hold on, you talking about Fat Chris and Tony Yayo over there?
I'm telling you that if this social work or if this neighborhood work don't work, then the police are coming.
I'm just saying they gotta respect the police that y'all talking about, the community police. Like, if niggas don't respect, like, you could have a nigga that look like Steve Urkel and a motherfucker that look like Kevin Hart trying to be like, oh yeah, we running these streets, like we protect the streets. Like, it's like, all right, bro, you see a 6 foot tall Terry Crews ass nigga busting in people's crib.
These are a lot of what if scenarios.
I'm just saying this is reality. Like, you ain't always the biggest nigga on the block. You know what I'm saying? You ain't always prepared for every situation.
I've seen hella huge ass cops getting fucked up by regular niggas anyway. Like, it doesn't matter your size. Like, but if you're trained to do what you're supposed to do, and you're trained correctly, and you have the funds to implement the right resources in those communities so they are safer, so people aren't resorting to violence. Yeah.
I'm just asking the question is, what does this look like? Really?
That's what I'm saying.
Does it look the same? I'm just saying, does it look the same as what has been going on, except you just take out the white people or non-blacks and put black people in those positions? I think it's going to be different
again, because the difference now is we're training people. Police aren't truly trained to de-escalate situations. Like, they're not. In 21 weeks, you're not trained to do so. That's not possible. Like, so
then what happens when I'm saying what's the situation of break-ins? How do you de-escalate that?
We're going to actually train. We're going to have, like he says, social workers. You're going to get medics. You're going to get people that actually understand how these things work and try to like diffuse situations correctly versus someone like, we're not giving these people guns. We're not saying.
So the people that you asking about policing, they don't have guns.
And I see what you're saying.
Not.
Okay. I see what you're saying, because it's like, all right, at the bottom line, what we thought initially was like, we need to just solve police brutality. And that's why they had the reforms,
right?
But that's not. It appeared that's not all. That's not all it took.
Exactly.
It needs to be the whole institution.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying abolish police. I'm just saying let's not make them the first option to get called. You feel me? If it can't be de-escalated, okay. Bruh tripping, he on some violent shit, okay. Then
because that's gonna happen anyway.
There's
a lot. There's people that just snap,
but
like stuff like that happens.
Statistically speaking, break-ins are not our biggest issue, bruh. Niggas is not breaking into inner city places.
Exactly.
Like, come on, bro. Like, we know what we.
Why you think that? Why you think the situation I'm talking about inner city neighborhood? You know what I'm saying, you know, black people. You ain't been watching Blackish.
You're right. But I'm just saying, dog. Like, you know what I mean, bro. Like, that's not our biggest issue.
I'm just always thinking about different scenarios. Like, I always try to walk. Like, let's play this out. Like,
there's gonna be a lot of what ifs.
I'm for black people. I really want the police. If you're policing a community, you should live within the community. Right. That's the same way. Like, when I moved from Ohio to Georgia, it's gonna take me 6 months to a year to become a resident. That's how long it should take for a person to be like in training within that community to understand the people. I want to know who Tammy is across the street. I want to know her mama want her in the house by 9. I want to know who Chris is, you know, down the way. I got to get him home because he worked late. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you should be able to communicate like that within your community.
Right.
But nah, bro. If somebody coming through, like, if we got, you know, the Quan coming through, well, I ain't gonna say the Quan. If we have Darnold coming through, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was like. I was thinking of Sam Darnold for some reason. But, like, we got a white dude, basically, coming through. You know what I'm saying? He trying to start ruckus. Like, he breaking in or he doing something. Like, we can call the medic. We can call the social worker. But, like, if he really about that action, how are we de-escalating that
That's
situation?
why it's like a systematic
If we have no
thing.
guns. If we have no guns.
It's a systematic thing because that's a hard-ass question. You're right. They have to ask themselves these questions before they put these type of things in place. That's why I said, like, we have to invest in public infrastructure. We got to help out in, like, poor communities in terms of community development, improving the education system, things like that, where it's just like we're funding that community so much where they're not going to rely on crime as much, like I said, because crime comes from social problems. So if these people are educated, if we're given the resources for them to live a life where they don't have to resort to violence or resort to, like, fucking up Jamal, like, you know what I mean? Like, eventually we will see it de-escalate because you see it all over the world in Switzerland and Sweden, all them.
So you don't want guns in the black community at all.
No,
I used to say that until I saw this shit now. No,
it's
I
hard.
swear to God, I used to say fuck
because
guns.
of the foundation because of what America is. It's hard, I feel like, to go that route of no police and then to still have enough police to do anything about crime. Because crime is just, I think that's just going to always be the case. There's going to always be crime.
There will always be crime.
And that's even a bigger picture. But in America, there's always going to be crime. So if you defund the police, all that means is I think it's going to be less police. There's going to be less people comfortable with their family member being police or people being comfortable. But you think if we change the
system itself where people are resorting to crime, you don't think that's gonna, like?
Oh yeah, but that's a bigger picture. That's not what we out here protesting.
But we gotta look. That's why I keep saying, like, we gotta look at the long run. Like, I saw this picture today of it was like George Floyd, and inside of him, like, I guess the rest of his body was like other black people that were killed due to police brutality. There was slaves in that shit. Like Malcolm X was in. Like, it's like a whole bunch of things that, like, really just, like, are about this country, what this country was really founded on. Like, this is a long ass marathon that we're about to be fighting. Like, we're trying to change the system. Like, police brutality, ending that is not enough. You know what I mean? We got to start looking at our healthcare systems. Like, why are black women more likely to die when they're pregnant or they're giving birth? Like, things like that is so ingrained in this country that, like, we're at a disadvantage at every point. That's why we don't feel comfortable going to the police. That's why I don't trust white doctors. Like, things like that, where it's just like, it's literally the reality we live in, and we have to change it. We have to change it if we want to see something happen.
And it's I feel like, look, it's an amendment to have guns. So trying to say, all right, you're gonna police the area with around folks that gonna have guns, but you don't get a gun. Anybody in my family, I'm not cool with that. I'm gonna sit down like, bro, is that really what you want to do?
Yeah,
if I'm doing that, like, I'm as a black family, that's one last black.
So what
black
if no one
officer
had
that's
guns?
gonna be out there?
What if you said no guns for anybody?
It wouldn't be America.
Anybody
it won't be America.
Yeah, that's what
But do you think it'd be a better place?
Of course, I think we'd be.
No,
happier.
I think it'll be different. I think we just have knives. We'll have the knife issue that they have.
I'll run the
that's
knife,
cool.
bro. That ain't no problem. I can't run no.
I mean, it'll be less deaths.
Yeah,
it'll be probably less
outrun a
deaths.
knife.
It'll be less deaths, but it'll be a very personal deaths though. Like, you know what I'm saying? The knife,
if I'm knifing you fucked me up.
Yeah, like, you gotta be like, all right, what's going on?
Yeah, that's true too. But there ain't no knife gonna ricochet and hit somebody who's not has shit to do with it.
I don't know. You ain't seen John Wick 3. You see, boy, that nigga was like, had it. But that's I agree though. But we talking about the black community a lot, and we're talking about policing ourselves. I think Neems, you talked about as far as like this is the best time, or like this is the support of black people is very high right now. Peak support, at least in our lifetime, I would say for me.
Same.
Can we survive off the black community alone though? Like if we just had to survive off of like black only type of shit.
Yes.
Consume.
I think so too.
Yes.
Create
if we have
all
no
that
one,
shit.
That should be an NDR challenge.
We have no other outside factors. Like if you look at Tulsa.
No, I'm just talking about right. I'm talking
I'm
about right now. Like if you like
I think
starting
we can
tomorrow,
make it happen.
could you go a whole year of just only consuming and buying and dealing with black people?
It's impossible, but
Why is it impossible?
Right now, because it's just too much of it. Is like we don't either we don't know or we don't have the resources to find out who's doing that. Like
I don't know.
I wouldn't be
Social
able to
media
be
really
like
changed it, bro.
I wouldn't be able to be like, all right, where's the closest black-owned gas station and who made that fuel? Like if you really want to get down to it and you're only keeping your buck in the black community, it's hard right now.
Yeah,
it's something we drive
It'll
towards though, and it takes those baby steps.
Exactly. It takes
but to
baby
answer your
steps.
question, we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it just by next week. I think we'd have to get our ducks in a row. And then be like, all right, I'm ready. I know
how long.
where I'm
how long
going.
would that take you to get your ducks
I think
in
it
a
would
row?
take me just like a week, and I'd be like, all right, I know where I'm gonna get my.
Only a week.
You talking about only? I'm not saying I'm doing all this extravagant shit. I'm gonna be bunkered down in the crib. I'm gonna be supporting black businesses.
So you can't live a comfortable life only living off of black people.
Not right. Not with the resources I have. Not with the resources I have, bro.
I mean, that's just being honest. I mean, can you name a black-owned grocery store in Atlanta?
I don't know. Does that
gotta
Decatur
get a
Farmers Market
black-owned
count?
car.
All I see is black people work at that.
Get a black-owned car, or you riding a
It's
black-owned
not black-owned.
bike?
Marathon.
No, that's not black-owned.
It's a marathon.
What?
That's not black-owned.
Oh, Nick,
I see nothing but black people in there.
Yeah.
It's Atlanta.
I don't know. I don't feel like it's enough black-owned corporations. Like they corner the market.
Not even a little bit.
They cornered the market on us. Like it'll be hard to go purely like buying black because. You know what I mean? It's like we only got to select few of.
But you could do baby steps. Like
Baby
I've literally
steps, though.
just been researching a whole bunch. Like
That's what it'll take. Just baby
like
steps.
from like you said, makeup products, feminine products, clothing, food. Like just little things where you're just like making it a habit, and then you like we eventually just. I think we could get there. It's gonna take a long time, like you said, because there's no corporations. We're not even on the fucking board. We're not even in the room yet. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a fucking marathon to get to that point. But I think it'll be. Like pivotal if we did.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably gonna take
fire.
long as
It
hell.
take long as hell too.
It ain't gonna take a week.
You
are.
I'm saying as far as just getting the list of shit, and that was
Oh,
just
yeah.
me thinking groceries and some other shit. But
Because black people are the largest consumer on the earth. Bro.
Right.
Like we are the largest consumer out of any other race on the earth. So if we spent only black, bro, we can crash this economy and come up on top.
I'm saying
You know
we
what
could
I
really
mean?
just start our own.
and it sends a
Black Wall
message.
Street.
It sends a message because there's a reason. Like the industries you do find where there's not any black people, like car manufacturers, chemical manufacturers, those are the ones where we're like, all right, I don't know if my people gonna
But do
follow
you
me there.
think if
I don't
we
know if I'm gonna
gave
have a market there.
Black people around the world the resources to create those things, because I be watching movies all the time about like little kids in Africa creating some shit like the Windmill Kid and all that. Like I feel like if we truly funded, you know what movie I'm fucking talking about, that nigga created a fucking windmill and powered his whole city. It was beautiful, gave him all electricity.
That was unrealistic as hell.
Well,
but
my nigga did it. Okay, don't
he
ever
did it, though.
try.
He
He,
did it,
made
though.
it with a bike.
He did it. Though.
I don't
But
look.
I'm saying like
I'd like to believe that if we had
So
the
you think
resources, we would do it. But we do have the resources. I know y'all seen that picture where it was like, there's $1 billion in this picture, and we still don't have this business. This business. We don't have anything in these industries.
But you
and
don't
it was
see us
all of
getting
these
into
I mean,
celebrities.
Neems is dumb
Akon was
optimistic
in
though.
there.
I am.
She's like, she think there's a bunch of windmill kids out here that's
There
gonna
is. They don't have
power
the
Atlanta. Like,
I mean,
But I
Why
don't.
not?
yeah,
Why not?
there's some engineers out there in
I'm saying
Africa,
there
and
is all over the world though, even in our own communities.
right?
They don't have the resources to get there though.
But why aren't they? And if we don't jump into it, are we going? If they jump into it, are we going to support? Like, are we going to get that black-owned car? Are we going?
I'm hoping this. That's what I'm saying. I hope that this shift that I'm seeing right now is gonna happen. Like that's like this is the line where I'm like, fuck it, only buying black. That's it.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
You know what I'm saying? That's like
how long is it
ideally,
gonna take you to get your ducks in a row to do that?
It's gonna take me a sec. I'm not gonna lie to
What's
you.
the second?
I'm still in school.
Is it a
bro.
black
Like,
second or
nah,
a
it might
normal
be-
second?
I mean, like I said, I'm way more conscious about where I'm shopping at now in terms of like just my everyday shit.
I ain't seen you at the Decatur Farmers Market. All
I
right.
fucking live in Lawrenceville, bro. Don't do me like.
Hey, that's the distance you may have to travel for some black owned shit.
Okay,
that's
so we gonna
really-
carpool. That's what we gonna do. We're gonna carpool and get there. Like that's no problem. We could do it if we need to do it. But I'm just saying, like one.
But we live, but you know, we live in a, and I'm not going in on you. I'm just saying that to the group.
Yes, you
Like
are.
we live in a conveniency culture. You know what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
shit is supposed to be
For sure.
more simplified.
Exactly.
So you telling people,
is it worth it though?
is it worth it? Pretty much.
Well, shit, it can be convenient on like those little mini levels as far as how long do I wait for my food? How long do I got to drive to get
Right.
here? But if our life ain't convenient, that trumps that.
right.
Our,
It's
as-
g-
our life ain't
I agree
convenient.
with you.
Like we not set up right
You
That's
now.
a
being
bar.
devil's advocate,
No,
bro.
that's
Look
no.
at him.
I'm not even playing devil's advocate. I'm just playing like that's a bar of what he said. But at the same time, I know this nigga. Like his convenience.
And is it going?
You know what I'm
is it
saying?
gonna
Like
change?
it's like
Is
and
it-
I'm not
is it
saying
gonna
that he ain't gonna
change?
follow through what he say, but like we all talk rah rah
Facts.
during rah rah time.
Facts.
But for there's 365 days. It's only been what 2 months.
Yeah.
So take
Long
60
as
days
2
out of
months
that.
not fucking
What's
life.
you doing for the rest of that 300 is really what your
be-
character is like. As far as like if you really about this shit.
I'm gonna be honest. My life, how it's set up, is not prepared to go strictly black. And I'm gonna tell you why, bro. In a short way. One,
you got a baby
said,
mama.
We don't have the resources.
You gotta relax.
I have a child and a baby mother, right? And we don't have the resources. Shit is expensive. I ain't gonna lie. Black owned is expensive, bro.
It is.
That's one.
And if you
two, and as black people, come on, look. And this is no diss to the black community or entrepreneurs, but we gotta do better when it come to business.
You talking about
I
service?
was waiting for someone to bring
service,
this
like,
topic up.
I'm sorry, bro.
Hey,
like,
we gotta be if we want to be equal, we gotta be critical
yeah,
as well.
I'm pro black, but I will not lie to you when I say, because I sell T-shirts, like I do the little clothing line thing, and my worst experiences have been literally trying to go through black owned T-shirt companies, bro. Like the order's late or no refund or no, you get what you get. Like, because I guess so much pressure on us. We walk around with a chip on our shoulder, but we have to learn as a people that we can't do that to each other and expect people to just buy black because it's black. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we got to do better as entrepreneurs. You feel me? Like, come on, I know it's gonna hurt your pockets a little bit, but come down on them prices. You know what I mean? Come down on them.
I won't say
delivery times,
I won't
bruh.
say come down on the prices. I'll say be reasonable
On
and
the prices, at least.
and I guess what we always looking for is the hometown discount. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's prices.
no, I'm just saying like, but we shouldn't cheapen our
shouldn't do that.
services
I hate when
based
people do
off
that.
of just because
But
your skin color.
Also,
you know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
want to go to Walmart and see that they got orange juice for $2 and I come to your store and it's $10.
That's what's gonna
But
be
you
hard.
but you don't know what
That's
oranges I
what's
got.
hard.
You don't know what
That's
oranges
That's why
I
we gotta
got.
go
It's-
against that convenience.
That's
But
what
they're a
saying.
franchise. You competing with a franchise.
Exactly.
They can.
Fucking
Yeah,
Walmart.
you're gonna compete with a franchise. You're not gonna just become one. You gotta compete through that. Walmart was a small bit. Walmart was in that same field at one point, and they competed.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
That's what it's going.
I would say
It's
this.
true.
What other path do we got? Because you can't have no like overnight success with the goddamn retail store.
And then even as like, okay, if you're buying black, right? It goes deeper than that because are they shopping black? Is the corporation that you're shopping with, are they getting their materials from black people?
Is their agenda black? Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because we could be saying, oh, I went to this black deli and
Facts.
I bought all black, but they buying from the Asians.
Where they get their bread from?
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't
Literally,
know,
the loaves of bread.
I don't know, bro.
So
A black
it sounds like
farmer
y'all saying
or a white farmer.
We've talked about this before, and every time we talk about it, it
Systematic,
sounds
bro.
like, bro, it's impossible.
Yeah. It's
And that's
so
fucked up, ain't
It's
it?
just
Like
hard.
it's just real
It's
fucked
hard.
And
up.
so it's
they
gonna
made it,
take
though.
baby steps,
So
and
what
it's
are we
not
gonna
gonna
do?
be on a little.
This baby gonna be a baby for a minute.
It's
So
not
do
gonna
y'all
be like
see
that.
it? Do you think it's worth it? Do you think
It's worth
that
it,
it's
for
doing
sure.
it in your lifetime?
I think
if you're
it's-
not gonna see it. Do you think we'll see it in our lifetime?
No.
Nah.
I don't.
That's a
either.
little bit. That's another thing. I need to have it in my
This whole
lifetime.
system is gone and over with until there's a new system put in place, bro. Because the
What I said
infrastructure
earlier about
of this corporation, like how the corporate world works, this infrastructure is not made for black business.
Not
to
even.
boom.
Well,
unless
then-
they-
Well, then let me ask you the question of
So is buying black even profitable then? If it's not meant for us
Let's
to.
keep it G. No, I'm not trying to spend $10 on your lemonade,
bruh,
Why are
come
you
on.
stuck
That
on
might be
the
the
juice?
best lemonade we ever had. Damn.
Just cause some
Man,
goofy
though,
ass
bruh,
nigga charged
like-
you 10 for juice.
He was
bruh.
trying to make a protein shake. It was like, bro, I'm leaving.
That nigga probably didn't
I'm
even.
not coming back.
He probably didn't even work there. He probably was just a nigga who just.
Even the little kids at the light talking about $2.50 for water. Like, what you mean, bro?
Nah,
Bro,
you
they
better buy
out
that
here
water,
hot,
damn.
bro.
Cut it out.
They charging that $1.50 extra
Cut it out,
because
bro.
they hot outside, bro. It's for the
Exactly.
kids,
Cut it out,
bro.
It's supply and
Cut it out.
demand economics.
He said, "Cut it out."
It's not for the kids. It's for that kid. That specific
Bro,
kid.
one life is worth it,
But
right?
I feel you. That,
You know what I'm saying?
You could do that.
I've done it before. I always do. I try to do
That's
my
when you
month.
should get your water.
I do my monthly bum giveaways. No, I'm not saying
Damn.
they bums, but I'm just
Wow,
saying.
the
Like,
Republican. He's back.
right,
He's
bro.
back.
Hey, and if we gonna
I'm
buy
just saying.
black,
I give out $1 up to $5 out there on the streets at least once a month. You know what I'm saying? Whoever I see, I try to help out as much. And mostly they be, I try to support black bums. You know,
me too. I never
real
give to white
talk,
people. I've never gave to a white bum.
unless
Yo,
they.
this is
The only time I
second time I've
gave.
had this conversation this weekend. This is wild. Like someone said the same shit to me last night. They said I've never given money to a white bum.
If they
I'm
have
like,
if they got a funny sign,
I
I've
almost
given.
said I didn't either, but I have, bro.
I have,
This
yeah.
one bum, and it was in Atlanta. It was near a spot somebody recommended to me. It was like Sweet Auburn.
Oh, the seafood place.
Yeah, bro. A white bum
Welcome.
helped me get a parking spot. He held it for me when this black bum would not.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't ask him, but he just seen me looking for the spot, and I was
can we
like, "Oh
not
shit,
refer
let me
to
whip
them as
around."
bums?
And the white dude was like, I got
correct.
you. And he stood there. I gave that bum a tip.
How much you give him?
Still wouldn't have gave
Like
him.
$1?
Yeah, it was like $1 or something.
Is that a tip?
I would have hopped out.
And it was
said
change.
reparations.
So it wasn't more than $2.
You gave him
But
4
he earned
quarters?
it.
You gave him 4
But he earned it.
quarters?
And that white bum earned it. That's why I don't want to see color. You know, that's the MLK in
You
me.
said I just see bums. Like,
I just see bum. Like
I just see dirt. I see filth.
y'all gotta stop it, okay? We gotta change that mentality.
unless
I see broke
do
nigga.
nothing. If you don't do nothing for me, then I see color. And I will skew
Bro,
towards
I
the
see
black
color.
bum.
Yo,
I see
y'all are
color,
killing
period.
me.
I was say it's hard
see
not to
color,
see
bro.
color.
You can't see color.
You see
you
color?
can't not see color.
I see color.
You can't not.
I saw her
see color.
Goldilocks, nigga. I see color. I see
Oh,
color
that's
like a
another
motherfucker.
thing. If we gonna buy these black women, y'all gonna have to start buying black extensions, black hair extensions.
I went to an African lady to get my hair done, so you gotta chill out. I don't know where she bought it from, but
no, I'm
a black
saying
lady.
that
Exactly.
hair
You don't know
gotta
what
be
she bought
black.
it
She
from.
bought it from
I
the
did my
straight
part.
era people.
Black or
Yo,
brown?
The hair gotta
Black
be
and
black.
brown.
It can't be no Malaysian wavy.
It's brown.
It can't be.
And if it's coming from a horse, it got to be a black
it
horse.
gotta be black. It got your hair
They
gotta
dyed
come
this
from
bitch,
Africa.
okay? Like y'all not gonna come for my hair, okay?
Coming for your hair.
We talking to the streets right now. We
Straight
ain't worried
shots,
about you.
okay?
It's the hair of African descent, though.
All right.
I'm of African descent. Like fuck it, like I'm good.
She said, "I bought it as me."
Right.
Are they making the shirts
That
or
was
printing
my
the
back
shirts?
dollar, okay?
Like
So-
it's down to the T.
All right, so then we basically talking about equality. All right, for the most part, we want to be as equal when it comes to our businesses. That's
No,
the
we
reason.
need
I
to
wanna
be
be
more
better.
equal.
I want to be better
than
So
equal.
are we ready for equality
I'm off that.
in terms of.
as black people?
We're not ready for equality.
Why you say
And I
that?
say it in this sense.
Mm.
We need it to be in our favor to catch up. Because if we go equality, then we're just going to stay at the gap we're at.
Right, trying to
We
keep
need
up.
to catch up so that we're at the same field.
Facts.
Then we can be equal again. Then it's like, all right, now I'll mix up what I'm spending. I'll mix my portfolio.
Yeah.
But until then, we got to be strictly us. And that's why I'm saying it's not time for MLK right now. It's not time for the equality no more. It's not time for the
Preach
peaceful
supremacy.
protests. It's time for the Malcolm. It's time for the violence.
I'm
It's time to
saying.
speak their language until
And I'm
we
not gonna only say
get up.
violence though. It's really big on education. Like kids gotta fucking know where they come from in this country. Like they got like I was talking to my homegirl the other day and she was like, "Were you mad about racism when we were kids?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I didn't think I was upset about slavery. It didn't really hit." And I'm like, "You're right. All I learned was about Harriet Tubman." I was like, "That was cool. Like that was great."
It was a hero story.
It was a hero story. That's it. I was like, I wasn't actually mad at white people though. When I think about it, like when I was in 5th grade learning about that shit, I was like, I wasn't angry. I was just like, oh, it just happened.
I treat that like how I watch Sound of Music. Like when I'm thinking about Sound of Music, I'm not thinking about they in like Nazi
bad
camp. Like,
times,
like this
right?
is a Nazi movie
It was
pretty much.
fucked up.
And I'm like, I just think about doe a deer, a female deer. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking about other shit. So it's just like I get that. Like where it's like you don't. I guess because of the childhood maybe
Right.
aspect of it. Like
I don't know if it's
Yeah,
the
it's
innocence, but it was
everything.
also how it was presented. So we really gotta
Exactly.
enforce it in our kids. Like no other black leaders, like no people that we didn't get taught in school.
I
Like,
want it to
it's
be. I want
huge.
them to go as far as if a white professor is teaching that shit, own up to your shit, nigga. Don't be
Fuck
like
outta here.
and they enslaved. No, y'all enslaved.
Why you got-
great
he ain't gonna
granddaddy-
claim
Y'all
that,
enslaved.
bro.
My
He ain't
great
gonna claim
granddaddy
that.
Slave
had 5
y'all.
slaves.
Nah.
Exactly.
Just like how we don't be,
Be
like,
real.
Nah,
don't
facts.
paint it as.
I'm not trying to. I'm not.
sweet shit.
No one's ever gonna take.
Like I'm a big fan.
no
of
one's
Harriet.
ever gonna
Nigga, no,
take
you
re-
weren't.
no
You
one's
would
ever
love
gonna-
to have a fucking plantation
I'm
right now.
saying.
Bruh, no one's ever gonna openly take take responsibility for slavery. I can't even say it right. Slavery. No one would ever do that. Point blank. Period. No matter
There's
what.
a lot
color
of
you-
things that we thought
in
never
public,
would happen. that need
maybe
to
in
go ahead and
private, but
happen.
in public, like not these days. These days they not doing it.
I don't think, and it's just a morality thing. I don't know if y'all ever read James Baldwin, but like trying to have a white person face what like white history has done to the world, like not just America, but as a whole, it makes them so fucking uncomfortable. They want nut. Like I've had so many white people cry to me about this. Like I'm from Indiana, so it's just racism. So they'll just come up to be like, "Damn, like how are you? Like I feel so bad." And I'm like, "You should. Your granddaddy probably had slaves. Like it's just
You ain't
sucks."
say
Like nah, I didn't. I thought it. Though. I thought it.
She started popping off. Boy.
Nah, but dead ass, it's just like I don't know, man. Like
Nah, I understand. Like I get that. I understand that they don't want to talk about that shit.
They
But you
don't.
have to
But
get
you
to
have-
get over
they
it.
have to
just
face
like,
it.
Just like
You
how
have to
women,
make 'em
just like
uncomfortable.
how black women say y'all niggas ain't shit. We be like, hold on, bro.
Y'all gotta look at
Why you
yourself,
gotta
y'all
lump in all
not.
of us together? We like keep that separate. But it's like, nah. If
But
we
you
actually,
know.
if we took the weight of all the niggas in the world,
not shit.
bruh, it's a heavy burden to have, and it's hard to look yourself in the mirror and not slap whoever the first person you
Right.
sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to like taking on,
You gotta
like,
be uncomfortable, especially when white people are the ones making this is their infrastructure, it's their society that we're living in. Like they have to be the ones to make the change. So like at this point, I'm just unapologetically black. I'm gonna just speak it as it is. Like,
Facts.
like nah, nigga, I'm not fucking with y'all right now. Like I'm cool.
Facts.
Like
Cool.
I can tell that you're not actually
Cool.
for us.
I
Like
lost
very
all
few.
my
yeah.
white friends.
So many. Anyone that's quiet at this time.
I didn't lose.
I had a couple white friends reach out to me.
Yeah, I had some white friends reach out to me too.
I felt weird about it because it was just like, not to say like,
I felt
because
good about it.
they was cool before then, so it wasn't like they was on some other shit.
It's not like it wasn't genuine.
Yeah, but it was just like,
What
I
am
don't
gonna
feel
get
like,
from it?
yeah, like I don't really feel like what does this do? Is this like a treat? I feel like it's like you trying to give me like, oh, I'm throwing you a bone. Like this is like,
No, they do it for themselves.
They
Yeah,
do.
like, what is
It's
this
the
for? Like,
morality, I'm
yeah.
telling you.
Type shit. No, I don't never let them out the hook, bro.
Nah, bro. It's just that's
Ever.
your guilt. That's what you got to deal with.
yeah,
That's
like
Ever.
this is the first time I'm experiencing white guilt,
Imperialism,
pretty much like on a
exactly.
like personal
my last
basis.
white friend that I had, I told him that he was racist, and that shit blew him because he grew up with us, like, you know what I mean. But I told him he was racist because he's not speaking on any of the issues going on right now.
He doesn't feel like
and
it's
he's
his
like,
problem.
bro, I'm with y'all. Da-da-da. No, nigga, you not with us. Cause if we get pulled over, they gonna tell you to take a walk, bro. And they gonna beat the shit out of us,
Right.
bro. You not with us. You feel me? Just cause you wear tattoos and like rap music.
Like y'all love the
Fuck
culture,
outta
but
here, man.
everybody want to be a nigga until they gotta be a nigga. That's
So
all
they
that
gotta be
is.
a nigga.
Well, I'm all about
it is.
excluding them, but when it comes time to ride, we need them.
We need them. Like I said, they
Nah,
we
we
need
don't
some
need-
white
nah,
bodies
nah,
dying for our
nah,
cause,
nah,
just
bro.
like we had black
think
bodies
we can
dying
achieve
for
change
theirs.
in this country
Flat
without
out,
it?
bro.
We
I
don't need
care.
we don't need them.
Yes, we do.
We
Yeah,
need
we do.
Jesus.
Yes, we do.
We
We
need
do.
Jesus. Or we need.
I'm Muslim.
I
we
don't
need
want this
Allah.
white
You gotta
America's
chill out.
Jesus.
We need Allah.
I don't want this
Alright?
white America's Jesus.
I just watched Rami and I realized that
I just
Jesus
watched-
Jesus is in
In the Quran.
He's in the Quran.
He's
yeah.
in the Quran more than the Bible.
Really?
I'm gonna teach y'all
See,
something
that's
one
what I'm
day.
saying.
We'll have
bro.
a
Hey,
religious podcast.
That's why I've been listening to hella J Electronica lately, bro.
Oh,
You know
look
what
at
I'm
you,
saying?
woke as
Hey,
shit.
I know what haram is. You know what I'm saying?
You still eat pork. Don't talk to me.
This nigga was on Rap Genius and was like, hold on. You saw a little description underneath.
Nah, but I
Jesus was in the.
I really honestly think like, bro, like what white, like I asked my pops this. Me and my pops had a real ass conversation about all this shit, and I was like, pops, like, what is the incentive for white people to do right by black people? Because like for 400 plus years they've been getting away with this shit. So what really benefit do they get from helping us out? And like if you look at historically, all the shit that we got has come from black people. It has not come from white people.
Yep.
Martin Luther King wasn't white.
Yep.
But he was in Lyndon B. Johnson's ear that whole time. And then he had to die. Malcolm X wasn't white. And he was pushing shit. Farrakhan ain't white. Like, Oprah ain't white. Whoever you want to mention as far as
We
someone
don't
who has
speak
it.
on Oprah here.
All right, well, I get it.
She with them.
But whoever has.
She is
Rosa
now.
Parks wasn't white. Like, you know what I'm saying? Harriet Tubman was white. Like, the people who did liberation, who was really about that life, willing to die for it. Not to say no white people ever not die, but like,
There's
the
some
ones.
people are down.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like the ones that we really rely on are coming from us. So it's just like I don't need white people for liberation. I don't expect them to liberate us
But
because they haven't. They never
not-
were about that.
I don't think it's in terms of like, I think we're looking at it in two different ways. I'm talking about in terms of actually changing policy. Unless like you think we can just restart a new world of just black people.
I
and
think-
thrive off that. That's it.
I think the only way we really going, at least for me right now, for what I've seen, because I haven't seen black people be successful for a long period of time when it comes to in this country.
Yeah.
Like we tried that with Black Wall Street. We saw that what happened.
Well,
I think-
they were successful.
But I'm
They
saying
just
for
got
a
burned
long
in-
time.
But they were just burned down. Like
Yeah, that's
someone,
what
there was an outside
I'm talking about like
factor.
generational. Like that was in one generation.
Do you think white people ever let us have that? True,
No.
this is actual
No,
question.
no,
This system.
not the majority.
Yeah,
no,
that's facts.
there's
Because we ain't
there's
gonna make that
allies.
same mistake.
So
We
what
ain't
about
gonna
like
get-
the
they
next
ain't gonna get the
generations
jump
to
on us
come?
like
Like
that.
What I'm
two
saying-
generations down.
What I'm saying is like when we were trying to get Stacey Abrams to be governor of
My dog.
Georgia,
Mm.
we were gonna probably have a black leadership in the biggest city in Georgia, which is Atlanta, and then we was gonna have black leadership in the governor's office. That meant that anytime there's a presidential election or like whatever the next one would have been,
Right.
they would have to come to Georgia and have to listen to a black person explain like, all right, this is what you gotta do for me if you want my people to vote for you.
Mm.
Like that's the type of power we're gonna have as far as to see like direct change or to see a black agenda somehow, some way down to a state to local level. Because right now we're talking about federal shit. That's a longer climb
You're
for
right.
me.
I agree.
Than
State and
from
local is way more.
It's way
Did
more
y'all vote?
important. We vote for the general election.
Ah, look at that. Look at it.
Hey, I gotta update my address. All
You're
right,
lucky
I
they were all
got.
Democrats this year. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm going for the general
I
election.
didn't either.
I'm going for
it's
the
okay,
general
but
election.
like you
Fucked up.
see where it starts at though. Like,
But
you
it,
said,
but
it's
I
state
always
and
preach
local.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of
I
course.
fucked up, but I always do preach
I know,
that.
as long as you're
that-
conscious, I just want people to
Yeah.
be aware. As long as you
but
know.
I'm saying like when we have black leadership in these places, like specifically, like we would have to take over a state. Pretty much is what I'm saying. Like we, as far as not like have all black people in the state, but like leadership in the key positions.
Facts.
Because then that's when we can enforce a black agenda. That's when we can enforce our
That's
own.
ideal though, bro.
I mean, it's not ideal because we was just
forever.
one election away from having a black woman in the
Well,
mayor.
we've been there already, and it didn't work out like
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
We had. I feel like politics.
You
is
talking about
just
Obama?
it. You have to play the game of politics to excel in it.
You talking
and
about
if
Obama?
you play the game of politics, it has shit to do with black people.
If you talk politics
it has
has
shit to
everything
do with
black.
race.
I mean, no. It has
it's
everything
about
to do
money.
in terms of what they affect. Yeah, it hurts black people, but in terms of like who's doing it and who can change it, white people.
The president is the commissioner of the United States. The president don't really do shit outside of what these other states, these lobbyists and shit want them to do. So that's why Obama, he did something, but he didn't do enough for us. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't, like y'all mentioned, because again, like Roger Goodell with the NFL, like they pay him.
I would agree with you if Trump wasn't causing effect in our.
But Trump is different because he had his own.
explain to them.
He's an anomaly as far as like how the process and the system is going.
Right. So we're waiting for the. We had a black anomaly, and it didn't work out like that.
But then you got to see that America has a white agenda, and Trump is following that shit to the T.
The definition of systemic racism, bro. The system is racist.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck if every congressperson, every state representative, every governor, president was black.
Yeah.
Bro, we will still fail in this country because the system was built on racism, bro.
It was built for us to lose.
It's literally built for us to lose. It's not broken. It's not something we can fix.
Yeah.
We have to reform it. We have to destroy it and then make a new one. That's the only hope for change.
The only way to keep even your head above water is to play by the rules. And so you play by the rules and you play into their hands.
Exactly. You're doing exactly what they want you to do. Like, we'll be comfortable with this shit.
Or get shot.
That's all that is.
bro.
But you're right. The shit has to come burning down.
It has to burn down.
The revolution got to be televised. The revolution got to be insured.
Will be televised.
Look,
Everybody needs life insurance if you out there protesting. Because if you go down, your families need to get bread. Make the police, make everybody fear killing a nigga out there.
Exactly. We had a president that was about to implode this system and was talking about change and talking about ending all the corrupt governments and secret societies.
Oh, JFK?
And they smoked him.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Well, that's because he was fucking with the mob.
Bro, that's a sideline curveball story that they threw out there. That's some bullshit story that they threw out there, so y'all don't know the powers to be had them smoked.
Facts. Because even if you look at the American government, like look at what's his name, J. Edgar Hoover. He was the one that really just didn't want black people to succeed. Like that's when it really started, when you saw the fall of black people. Like we were like, after slavery shit was coming up, we were doing our thing, and then, Jim Crow, segregation. But these niggas, these people in politics, it was the CIA that killed Malcolm. Someone infiltrated the Nation of Islam and had them kill Malcolm. FBI killed Martin. Huey Newton was killed too. Like, it's literally the government. And they did that by destabilizing these people that were in power. They saw that Malcolm was a threat. They saw Martin was a threat. The CIA was the one that leaked all those messages with all them white women, recordings or whatever, with the white prostitutes, send it to Coretta. You know what I mean? Like, they know what they're doing. Like, they're literally destabilizing them one by one and then killing them. Like, that's all that is. So they know we're a threat.
So my last question for y'all, based off of that, what you just said, do you feel like you aren't a part of the movement if you don't protest or donate or participate somehow, some way?
Yes.
You care to elaborate on that?
What else I gotta say?
Either
Yeah,
you
like
with it or you're not.
Either you with it or you not. If you're not speaking on this
So
shit,
so if I'm not protesting, I ain't a part of
I'm
this
not
shit?
gonna say if you're not protesting, because I understand that. Because like with me, I just started protesting last week. I went to my first protest because, like I said, I work in a clinic, immunocompromised people. And then I was like, oh, I can't put myself at risk for corona. We still got a fucking pandemic.
Little excuses.
We do still have a pandemic.
We out here though.
That's how you know this shit's real though.
We was just talking about
out there.
you was just talking about shaking ass and titty outside this past weekend.
Chill out. That was like I said, that was this weekend. And I went to the protest the weekend before that. So don't try me. But like, you don't have to go to a protest. But you got, like I said, educate people, show them where to donate. Really, like, invest in black businesses, invest in your community. Like,
I'm just saying,
multiple ways to do it. Yo, go stream Black Lives Matter on YouTube. They donate every stream you play or whatever. Like, there's other ways to do it. If you're not doing it, you don't want to. If you don't want to speak on it, you don't care.
I'm just saying, like, you can't just be black.
Is that enough? You think it's enough?
I'm just saying, like,
what change are you gonna be with getting black? We've been black this whole time.
I'm just saying we put a lot on black people to be the change.
I know.
And I know I just had a whole soliloquy about like how black people are the only thing that can change shit. But I'm just saying, like, it's also a fucked up thing. Is like, white people are the ones that need to change. Like, white people should be the one that needs to be protesting. They need to be ones that need to be rioting and donating and all that shit. Like,
that's what I'm saying, bro.
Like,
I want their blood spilled.
I gotta put all this on someone who's already been traumatized and shit.
I don't give a fuck.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta like
being black's hard enough is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying?
That goes back to our point earlier of white people having to be the ones to really inflict the change in terms of policy, because it's a systematic thing. You see what I'm saying? But the little things that we can do, as in burning that fucking Wendy's to the ground because we were upset.
That ain't little. That's a big thing.
Burn that Wendy's to the
That's
ground. God damn it. But like, no, I'm just kidding. Like, don't fire me. See,
don't mention the company, nigga.
With all of that, bro.
Loot if you want to have a little small come up for yourself, but it don't help.
It don't help. Like, don't loot your community.
It don't help or hurt, in my eyes, the cause. Might hurt your community.
I think.
But that's not the cause right now. The cause is the police brutality. Is what we really have to.
We
that's the first
don't own
point.
shit in our communities, bro.
End of the day, no.
The Arabs, Asians,
but that's
Indians
true.
own this shit.
It don't
but that's
matter
where people
if we
get their
necessarily
food
own
from.
it. Like, even if we don't take the bulk of the hit, we take the hit because that
Where
Wendy's burned down. There's niggas who ain't working today.
Exactly.
Niggas ain't getting that check.
Where they gonna get their food? Like, things like that.
Look, I'm for looting. I'm for stealing. I'm for all of that shit because they stole us. They looted us.
Facts.
So
I'm
with all this destruction shit.
If we gonna loot,
yes. I don't like
loot white.
Yeah, look, that's what I'm saying. I don't
loot
like
right, loot white.
You gotta chill out.
Look,
loot white, real talk. That's the new movement.
They get on
loot right and loot white.
They get on the news and they depict us as animals.
Facts.
It's like, oh,
they only showing the riots.
Clothing. They're stealing clothing. They're burning down stuff. Like, y'all burned down villages and y'all stole people, bro. Like,
but the thing is, it's like, what do you expect? Like, okay, I don't know if y'all saw that post that Trevor Noah had done where he was talking about how black people are forced to sign a social contract where basically, like, we'll be allowed to live here, live our daily lives, all the fucking discrimination we go through and segregation, all the bullshit that we have to go through being black. But then the second we say, no, this ain't cool, like, you kill a black person, we act out, we burn a fucking city to the ground, they're like, no, y'all gotta chill out, like, it's not that deep. You killed someone. You've been killing black men forever, for centuries.
It's been that deep.
We are tired. Like, people have the right to do these things at this point, in my opinion. Like, it does not matter. We don't owe them nothing. They're stealing our lives.
Facts.
Fuck it. And then on top of that, we're getting poor education, poor healthcare, food deserts, like, poor communities. There's no reason. We don't owe them anything. Like, I don't think people get that part.
And with all that said, I feel like that's why the looting and shit, like, you're either gonna come up as an individual, you're gonna get arrested, or that store is gonna be up and running later.
Eventually,
they'll be alright. It's either and if you do hit it to where the store shut down forever, like, that was probably a mom and pop shop then. And they didn't have that backup. They didn't have that reinforcement behind them to get back up and running. So it's just like, all right, it's no point to do. That's not for the cause at that point. Right. It's just the result of the cause.
It is.
What's crazy is right now I'm looking on Twitter and from a source that I deem credible, but like this story is going on right now in Atlanta as far as Linux. The tweet is Linux in real time. They're holding a guy on the ground, tasing him. He went from screaming help to being completely quiet. They blocked it off so no one can record. So this is at Lenox Mall, biggest mall in Atlanta, pretty much, in my opinion.
Yes. Mall of Georgia.
Yes.
And I know you've been seeing the shit about niggas getting hung, niggas getting lynched.
Bruh, I saw 4. I saw 4 from the month of June.
I only saw 3, but there's 4.
Bruh,
look, this shit
4.
getting real.
And like, I also just let's talk about how we're just watching black men die on TV. Like, you know how fucked up that is. Like, how desensitized we are. We saw a man have his neck, like, a foot on his neck or a knee on his neck for 8 minutes, and he died. 8 minutes and 46 seconds. He died. We watched that. Kids watch that.
You know
That's the place we are in right now.
I'm glad. The kids need to see.
I mean, we need to see that it's happening.
Niggas is dying.
No, because even last night when I was watching the Rashad Brooks fiasco, like this murder, they replayed it multiple times. Like, that's all it was. All I was seeing, literally on loop for 10 minutes, was this man getting shot, running away and getting shot. That is traumatic as fuck.
That is traumatic.
It's wrong. Like, we should not be okay with this. They have normalized killing black men on TV. So I don't fuck with the media. Like, it's a sick thing. It's a sick time we're living in. Like, honestly, like, I would love to do the scientist in me. Would love to see mental health in like 10 years from now for like the ages of 10 to 20-year-olds. How are they doing? How do they process trauma? Like, it's insane. Like, being black is insane right now.
Yeah. So rest in peace to those people who passed.
To everybody
who were murdered by the cops.
Fuck it.
And we hope we can see some change sometime soon. I don't want to end it on that note. I want to end it on a note because we probably won't record by the time this actually happens. Father's Day weekend is coming up. You know what I'm saying? It's next weekend.
I ain't getting nothing for Father's Day.
Why do we not give respect on Father's Day?
Oh, I'm a daddy's girl. I'll be spoiling the fuck out of my daddy on Father's Day.
Y'all well, then we appreciate you.
Thank you. I love my daddy.
You're a good woman. That's why I want to have a daughter anyway, because that's the only thing that's going to take care of me when I get older.
Admittedly, in our family as well, like we be doing shit for my pops, but we always think bigger for my mom. So I don't know why that is. Because he be really holding us down.
That's the culture of a lot of things. That's a lot. I see that when it comes to
they take care of you, bro.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I get taken care of.
You look spoiled.
You know what I'm saying? I'm asking the father. So, you know, I kind of just bask in my glory on that day. So I can't relate.
I feel like, bro, they don't be respecting Father's Day out here.
They don't.
They give a nigga a tie in the toolbox every
year.
I'm
not gonna lie. We were like, honestly, the only reason we like really be going all out for my dad now, because like I said, my dad moved back to Ethiopia when I was like 14, 15 years old, and he just moved back last year. So this is like the second Father's Day I probably spent with him since I was like 14, 15 years old. So like for us, it's a huge deal. Every moment we get with my dad, I'm just like, damn, like I missed out on 10 years with this nigga. So like, I don't know. For me, I appreciate it so much more. I don't think everyone has that experience, but I think it's just like we do gas up our moms 100%. You brought us in here, but I think dads deserve the same energy.
Dad brought us in here too. Wasn't for him, we ain't.
Right.
He passed the torch.
My mama carried me for 9 months.
Yeah, he passed the torch.
He did.
Pulled out.
What? Could have pulled out. What?
He risked it all, basically, is what y'all saying. But nah, give your dad something more than a tie, more than fucking.
What's
coffee.
a good dad gift? What is a legit good dad gift?
I'm taking my pops to the range and.
I can't do that with my dad. I feel like my dad has bodies on him. I can't do that.
We getting ready for the revolution. That's what we doing, preparing.
Shit, it's hard to do anything right now as far as quarantine or like shit. Mm-hmm. But I would want to, like, bro, Pops, I'll get him a hotel room, you know what I'm saying? I'll have a couple blunts rolled for him. Let him just chill out, get a massage and all that shit. No, I'm saying this is what I would want to do.
Oh, as you? I thought you was doing this shit for your dad. I was like,
that's what I want to do. My daddy don't smoke for shit.
My daddy, he want a bitch in a hotel room.
He drink. That's what I'm saying. That's what I would want to do for my pops. You know what I'm saying? I'll get a high, not
what's
high
something
class,
realistically
mid-range,
you would want to do?
Mid-range, bitch. Realistically,
what's wrong with this nigga? He said a mid-range bitch.
Realistically, he like
what
he
are
like,
you gonna?
He
do?
like being around family. So realistically, I would want to cook for him and then have all of us as like me and my siblings and his grandkids like all together because he really like family like outings like that. So that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Okay.
But outside of that, for me, when I'm a daddy,
right? When I'm a dad,
I'm
with you on the boat.
Hey, I'm gonna say, leave me the fuck alone. It's gonna be me and your mama, or if I'm not with his mama, it's gonna be me and some bitch. You know what I'm saying? With a fat ass.
I mean, look, the mama. Look, tell your mama to come at like midnight.
Actually, even if I do got a wife,
fucking minute sooner.
Even if I do got a wife, it's gonna be me some bitch. That booty.
Hey, my day.
I hate both of y'all.
My day.
Speaking of baby fathers, I want y'all to know I don't think you ever released that podcast with the Apocalypse team. Was it the coronavirus one?
We did release. That was it.
Okay. Yeah. So
I forgot about this.
If y'all listened, I said if I repopulated the earth, it would be with my baby daddy, my future baby daddy, John Boyega.
Boy.
My boo. That's my boo. Why all the bitches on Twitter on his dick now? Because he's protesting. I wrote for him for the last.
To be honest, they don't. They
you
never
need to make it a point. We support you. We'll let it be known.
To be honest, I got two things.
I love you, John.
For one, they didn't even know who he was until he started doing this protest.
They don't know
shit.
what fucking Star Wars is.
Exactly. And for two, he had to do something to.
You mad about
it? He had to redeem himself because for 5 years he was calling out some white bitch name, and she did not want him at all. Point blank,
the enemy.
She fucked the enemy. She was sleeping with the enemy. So he had to redeem himself. He had to come back pro black as hell.
Nah, he always been black though. I saw that video of that nigga in Caravana shaking some ass. I was like, I love it.
That's just a nigga who on the hunt.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, he was people coming at him. He was like, nigga, I don't give a fuck who I represent, nigga.
They're like, Finn wouldn't do this. Fuck Finn.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm loving the movement with him though. Like it's just I love to see it.
Then you left Michael B. Jordan because he's silent.
I was not fucking with Michael G.
He made a speech.
Whatever that nigga, Scooby Doo ass nigga.
He been out here. Michael B. Jordan been out here.
He just had a mustache and his fist up. That's all I see.
Bro, he made a whole speech, bro. He looked. Shit,
oh yeah,
he did have for Creed no more. You know, ain't no sequel.
He did have a speech. Yeah. Shout out to all the black people coming out of the woodwork.
Are you looking for black
I was just about to ask y'all.
I don't
How
really
do y'all
care.
Feel? I don't care either. I'm not gonna ask Jay-Z to represent Black Lives Matter.
Nah, because I always expect them to say some dumb shit like how Wayne said that goofy ass shit.
Oh no, I didn't even acknowledge that. I don't want that to be the last thought I have, Lil Wayne.
Outside of that, nah.
He just said like, nigga, a white cop saved my life.
All right, nigga, this ain't the time for those stories,
it's not
bro.
the time for
We're
that
not
story.
ending
Exactly.
on this note.
If you trying to get back with your wife after cheating, you ain't gonna bring up like, but you ain't sucking no good dick like this one bitch. Right? Nah, you can't. You gotta. Nah, it ain't the time for that shit. It's bad timing.
That was terrible timing. But that's all he said holistically. All right.
No, don't depend on celebrity. That's not their job. They're gonna get paid anyway. We're going to pay them anyway. So it's like I'm not me asking Hov to like say something like monumental about the Black Lives Matter movement when this nigga never really stood for
Chill
that.
out.
Like,
Come on.
It's true. I don't.
I would rather them. They don't got to do all that speaking out and all that stuff. Just like do what every other person's doing. Get on IG and just spread the shit. Spread the awareness on your platform. That's the best you're gonna do.
Like you have the funds to do it. I feel
right.
like
Obviously, to donate. Like do that shit. You don't got to be loud about it. Just use the resources you have.
Like J. Cole, he out here.
That's my man.
Yeah,
of course
you know
he
he's doing
is.
something.
Of course he is. He's always been vocal about it. You look mad disappointed, Nick.
Nah, I was just thinking about.
He wanted us to shit on us.
Now you was just coming at Jay-Z. I was just like,
nah, you ain't want to hear it.
Not right now. He actually, I think I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt right now. He hasn't done anything right now.
I'm not saying he's bad or good. I'm just not gonna look to this nigga for it. Like,
yeah, I get that.
Expect
like,
I'm gonna ask Malcolm X type niggas for their advice on these situations at this point. Cause like,
you think John Boyega is one of them?
Well, he's coming out to be okay. This nigga standing on top of cars with megaphones.
Did you hear the other chants that we're doing in England? They might have a big problem too. They was talking about they were having.
Wait, what?
They had chants. They were saying we're racist and we like it.
How they say it?
No,
the whole ass field. I couldn't hear it.
I gotta hear that.
I didn't hear the accent.
He said Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Fuck the police. The couples.
I'm fucking
Fuck
dead.
the couples.
No, we gotta get on their wave though of like taking down statues. I'm really with this shit. It's like we gotta go to fucking Stone Mountain and blow that bitch up.
I was thinking.
I didn't realize how racist.
I do that like on my own. It was just like the Batman of taking down statues. Like no one knew, not even my roommates.
I didn't realize that the racist history Stone Mountain got, and Willie punk ass stayed going up to the bitch every day.
Bro.
Right,
that nigga.
Like he feel great. He be like, where you going? Like, I'm going to Stone Mountain.
like damn, boy.
Like my ancestors. Look at ass nigga. Shout out to my nigga Chill though.
Hey, go ahead.
Bruh.
We right. We need to get a black-owned mountain. Something like that. We need something with our names on the sides of it, our faces.
No, let's just find a hill and say fuck it.
Yeah, bro. You guys, you trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, my nigga.
Fuck it.
Something's.
We all start somewhere, Nick. Okay.
I can keep the mountain shit. I want something more.
You need some.
In my lifetime.
That's why this is a rare time for us. Look, we're so used. Our generation, the generation before, a lot of people who are out in the streets too are under this idea of instant gratification. Right. That's what we're surrounded by.
Facts.
So we gotta be prepared. This ain't gonna be no instant gratification.
It's a marathon.
This is something. Yeah, this is gonna be long term. We gotta stick it through. We gonna have to sub in or something because I don't know if we all down for that. Every week for the year, you out there protesting?
That's the thing about
in the rain.
I'm not a protester type. Mm-hmm. I'm more donate, and I'm more.
You
like,
donate every week? Are you gonna be like Kanye and donate one time?
I've donated
every check.
You mean like my whole check?
No. I said every check I take a portion out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I've been donating to the, and I especially like to like.
That's all we can
I'm
do.
down to do that too, but I gotta get something in return, so it's not gonna be a donation.
No, I'm not. I don't even give a fuck about all that.
It's gonna be a transaction.
I don't give a fuck about all that, but like when Black Coffee Cincy, when they got their shit ran through or they
you dropped 5 in a.
Well, I did that and also shared the message as much as I could too, because like I feel like I'd rather just do something that directly affects. I'm all about the direct effect of things. Like I'm not saying protest doesn't do that, but for me it's like
you want to visualize.
I want to actually see like what
you're
saying
shit is instant gratification.
Yeah.
You want to see my dollar go where it's going.
Yes.
Rather than protesting.
He just said y'all the problem.
Right.
It'll affect the change later, but
no, donating is just as big. Actually, like at school we're trying to put on a black food truck event. I'm gonna keep y'all posted. I'm gonna send y'all some documents. Sign up for me. But basically, just support local Black-owned businesses like Slutty Vegan, The Blaxican, Shay J's, things like that. We're gonna reach out to them and see if they want to come to our school.
Support your plugs too, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Support the plug. You know what I'm saying. Throw a couple $2 extra. You know what I'm saying.
Tip them nicely. Maybe bring some.
Hey, I show you love, bro. You know what I'm saying. Just 'cause I bust your ass and mad it don't mean. But nah, yeah, support the plugs, right? You know what I'm saying? It's all Black businesses out here.
Support the plug. Pay full price.
Pay full price. Quit asking for discounts.
Unless you family.
Thank you.
You don't want to support your family?
That's what I'm saying.
I do, but I got you.
But bring them a snack or something.
Stop
like that.
lowballing your weed, man.
What's the quote? What's the quote of the week we gonna send them out to? Let's to wrap this up.
Oh, that's a good question.
We got a new segment. We got quotes of the week. You know what I'm saying? This is quotes that there's a lot of conversations that we have outside when we're not recording. So like we try to capture as much as we can, bringing it to y'all. So and we'll give some context to it, but like, all right.
Okay, it's actually relevant to this whole movement because just like y'all was saying, like y'all checking y'all friends, y'all checking people who you are seeing, like they could speak up and they're choosing to be silent for what reason, whatever it is. We need to bring it to their front door, each and every one of them. So the quote is, anybody can get it, and nigga, that's life.
The context of that conversation wasn't about pro-Blackness at all. It was more about.
I don't remember how that came up.
It was about
a list of quotes. Sorry.
We were talking about. I think we were talking about cheating, and we was.
Wait a goddamn minute.
And we were saying if Beyonce can cheat on, well, anybody can get it, and that's just life. You know what I'm saying? Halle Berry got cheated on. You know what I'm saying? Shit, anybody can get these shit, and that's why we were. You can relate it to life in general, as far as like you know what I'm saying. Like anybody can get shot out here. Like when we get pulled over by the cops. That's the mindset that I have when I'm like, damn, this could be it right now. You know what I'm saying? Anybody like shit, didn't they arrested the SNL dude, Jay Farrell, who do all the impressions.
Oh
and shit.
Yeah, they did.
He got fucked up too. Like he's supposed to be
kneeled on his neck.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like a well-known Black dude.
Insane.
So like, you know what I'm saying?
He was talking about Google me.
That is sick, bruh. How are they that comfortable doing shit? Like not even. It's just fucking hate it here. God.
That's why if I get into those situations, I'm gonna be one of them niggas that's gonna get shot because I'm not gonna just
don't
be
ever.
Like, oh, you gonna put me on the ground? Oh, what for what? And I know I just was like I didn't put my blinker on or some shit like that. Like I'm not going out on some shit like that if it's simple. Like I know at least to a degree what my rights are and I can articulate them.
Exactly.
Hopefully that's enough. And if it ain't, it's going. That could be the result.
I'm pulling over in a public area. I'm not pulling over on the side.
Nigga got shot in Wendy's.
I'm saying no
parking lot, and it was a long line.
Mm-hmm. No, I can't believe people were just walking.
Damn, they had a video cam.
That just ruined my whole thing. I was about to say, at least I guess some people out there.
No
public ain't safe.
No one's safe.
All right, well, shit. That'll do it for us this week. We hope y'all stay safe in these streets. If you are protesting, if you are doing anything, please be safe with it. As much as we love y'all support and y'all proactiveness, at the end of the day, we still want y'all to be alive because Black lives do matter. So,
you know what?
Well said.
One last point. We should have posts of Black people with guns. And so if you get pulled over, you got to find out where's that closest post. Let me pull over there.
But with like niggas with guns.
Yeah, and I'm going to just pull over right there just in case some shit really pop off. At least I know this is my best chance.
Well, then that's going off of our other conversation we just had earlier about like, do you care about your community?
I care enough if I'm going to take my shift in this little post. It's like,
you will do it.
I'm going to go over here. I'm going to clean my gun. Can have a shooting range, and I'm going to just be here in case anybody need to come get pulled over here.
What if the nigga's like actually a criminal and you shoot the wrong one?
I'll take those odds.
All right. All right, that's all I'm asking.
I'll take those odds any day.
I got to dump you down for the cause. I fucks with it.
And that's us for this week. We out. Peace.
Holla.